Welcome to Industry Ignited, the podcast that showcases bold leaders and breakthrough stories from the industrial, manufacturing, and B2B sectors. I'm your host, Dr. Leeanne Aguilar, and today I'm excited to welcome Mike Henzell, the new owner and president of Davis Investigation Services. Since 2005, Davis Investigation Services has earned the trust of Fortune 500 companies, federal agencies, and top employers by delivering fast, compliant, and secure employment screenings. Now, under Mike's leadership, Davis Investigation Services is poised to build on its reputation for reliability while continuing to innovate and grow. In today's episode, we'll explore Mike's journey into ownership, what excites him about the future of the business, and how Davis Investigation Services is helping companies reduce hiring risks while staying fully compliant. Welcome, Mike. I'm so excited to have you here today.
Thank you very much, Leanne. It's a pleasure.
You're welcome. So first of all, can you tell us what drew you to this business and what made you take a leap into ownership?
Sure. For over 30 years, I worked in risk management and compliance for various Fortune 500 companies, both locally and internationally. So when I decided to settle down and look for a company, something that had a great track record in those backgrounds that I have, that allows me to use those skills, Davis turned up on the market. So immediately I started investigating. And what really drew me was they had a fantastic reputation for being, extremely compliant. Their quality was next to none. And it kind of, hit at the heartstrings there that this company was really something that I can take over and help grow.
And so what was the process like transitioning into ownership? What did you have to do?
That's a good question. For me, it was actually quite easy for me because, again, it kind of falls within my primary skills of risk management. For me, it was exceptionally proving when I met the team here, which happens to be the previous owner's son. He's my vice president of operations. He's here with me for the long run, and the rest of the team. It just struck me that, it was so easy for me to acclimatize to what they do day to day, which is the background checks and the screening and, all the testing and so forth. It just was a fantastic compliment for me. So it really, I think they made the transition very easy for me.
All right, so they were really ready and looking forward to the transition and made it
Absolutely.
easy to support you.
Yes.
Wonderful. And I know they have a long legacy and a strong foundation. So what aspects of the business or legacy are you most excited to build upon?
Well, I'm really excited about growing the background screening process. That pre-employment step that most employers take, that background screening portfolio is something that they're extremely competent at. And, again, it's just something that my background and skills, I can add so much value to build on that legacy. I'm really excited about that business.
So you just felt it was a really good fit all together, and it's something you feel like you can just take the ball and run with and build upon and make stronger, and with not only the strong foundation, but with continued support from key players who have the experience in the industry.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So can you walk us through what Davis Investigation Services offers today in terms of services and solutions? What are your offerings, your key offerings, and your strengths?
So primarily, our key offerings and strengths, the company is an investigative company. And the whole reason behind being an investigative service company is that it allows us into certain systems and databases that you just can't get, the normal person just can't get out there. And the services that it allows us to provide is mainly the background services, background checks, pre-employment screening, drug and alcohol testing. We also do, follicle nail testing. We do testimonials in court. We call them as witnesses. But I would say, the primary solution that we bring, if you look at it in a nutshell, is risk management with a focus on pre-employment.
Excellent, excellent. And so with your services, are there specific industries or clients that you're targeting, that you serve primarily, or that you're wanting to expand into?
We tend to cover the entire breadth and width of the marketplaces. We work with companies, Fortune 500 companies, governmental agencies, just a few of them. We work with aviation companies, banks, oil companies, federal agencies, transport companies, you name it. Because again, eh, most of the companies, it doesn't matter what type of business you're in, be it commercial, small businesses, even single proprietors, they need to understand the people that they're hiring. So, for us, it doesn't really matter, what market it is. We can work in every single market there is, in the US today.
So really diverse. And I mean, that
Yeah.
must be interesting and exciting as well, because you get to explore so many different types of industries and clients. And so, seeing that you took over an existing business, how was the transition to the relationships, like client relationships? And how are you, or what efforts are you taking to grow not only those relationships, but acquire new clients and new relationships?
So, for me, it was quite easy because of my experiences globally. It's very easy for me to integrate, meet people, and acclimatize very quickly. Um, so, meeting, the first thing that I did when I came in here was understand the entire business, understand who we're working for, and what drivers those clients need, for us to provide that client experience. And then I went out and met each one of the key, let's say the key players in those organizations, to introduce myself, let them know I'm here to support the team. I'm not here to change anything. I'm here to just add value. And the first step in adding value is our clients' feedback. And that's what I did. I got feedback from our clients to make sure that, we met their expectations and we delivered the best that we could from a service standpoint. Now, normally, I would say historically, 90% of those clients have come from referrals, which is fantastic. It's a testament to the quality that we provide, you know. However, I'm hoping to increase that outreach through, very targeted marketing to top recruiting companies in the US. That's where we bring the biggest value because those recruiting companies provide not just for one company. We're happy to work with one company, don't get me wrong, but the recruiting companies work with all the companies. So being with a recruiting company, I can work with all the companies, provide services to all the companies, and that really brings us a very high level of satisfaction that, we are out there already working for Fortune 500 companies.
Right. And I get that. So you can scale more quickly, I would think that way, if you're
Absolutely.
reaching the, clients that can help you, yeah, scale and not just reach one individual company, but multiple companies at
Yes,
once.
correct.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so as a new owner, what challenges are top of mind for you right now? So whether it's operations, client acquisition, scaling, what are your main pain points, your main
Well,
concerns?
the biggest thing right now, the for us, it's not so much scaling because we have a very simplistic model that allows us to scale very easy. But I would say the biggest thing right now is client acquisition. You know, right now we're currently sized to double our throughput. So, for us to grow right now, we do have a model in place that allows us to scale very rapidly. And so every time we bring on a client, let's say a big recruiting firm, that handles maybe 100, 150,000 throughput per year, we're already scaled to handle that, or multiple companies that handle 20,000, 30,000. You know what I mean? We're already scaled. And for us to upscale on top of that is very easy because we have a very simplistic model that handles each client's requirements as a separate entity. So it's a separate team that's assigned. So, for us, the client acquisition is the biggest challenge right now. It's getting those clients.
Right. And I love that you have a plan and a model in place and also a solid foundation of clients. I love that you have taken the time and the effort to nurture the relationships that are existing because word of mouth, I understand, has historically and currently been a huge lead generator. And also, the clients that come from referrals tend to be the most solid and best clients too. So I applaud that effort and think it's great that you've taken that approach. Are your clients mostly local in the Houston area, or are they around the nation or globe?
The clients are actually, majority of the clients are US based. We do have other clients that are, their headquarters may not be in the United States, but they have an operation in the United States. So we provide that service to that company that's a foreign entity in the United States. So mainly US based.
Okay, yeah, and that makes sense. And so, what is one area of the business that, if optimized, do you think would unlock the most growth in the near future?
Right now, I mean, optimize it for us. It's that background checks and pre-employment screening. I mean, that business is it's part of what we do day in day out. It's part of our DNA. But if we could find a way to optimize it and harness it, I think that would bring the biggest value to us and allow us to do much more. Again, we're building on that because it's so intertwined with everything else that we do. And it is the core of risk management that we believe that business, there are many different ways that you can name it, but basically background checks, right, for
Yeah.
pre-employment screening.
Right.
That's what it is.
And in the interviews that you did with your clients, what did you learn? I'm curious about that. And from what you learned from them, what do you think you'll implement into your services or approach?
So that's a good question. So, really, what some of the questions that I've asked is, how can we bring more value? And most of the clients tell us, what you're delivering for us is first class. We're really happy. We just don't want anything to change so that it goes in the other direction. It just keeps going forward. And, most of them, it's little tweaks here and there about, can we do this with the website? Can we do this with the client portal, which is a very private, secure portal. It's true. We have our own internal server that covers that. So they want to know if we are going to do enhancements, and the answer to that is yes. We're definitely going to do enhancements. But again, that's the feedback. Not so much. I was quite surprised. Normally, you get some clients that are unhappy with something that, great, I have something that I can fix. But in this case, everybody was so pleased and so happy with it. And so all the anything that we can get from our clients, I am happy to see if we can implement them where it brings value.
Right. Yeah, I think that's wise. I mean, your clients are going to be the best source for that feedback and helping you grow and become more effective as a business. So how are you approaching team structure and leadership to support your vision of the company?
That's a good question. So we have restructured. We've added new employees to ensure that, again, we have a scalable model that we use today that we didn't have in the past. And the scalable model, the formula that I call it, it allows us to very quickly repeat and build these groups that can handle the big, large clients as they come on board. So from a scalable standpoint, we're poised with a very good formula just to keep going and going and adding and adding. The core team is here, and all we have to do is just slowly break them out with subordinates below them or technicians below them to handle a new client. So it's really a good scalable model, and we're there. We just need to get the new clients on board, and we're ready to move to that next phase.
Oh, great. And so the formula that you devised, is this something that you brought with you from an outside, from another company, or is it something that was already existing that you just built upon and enhanced?
I brought it from yes. The model that we're using now actually is a model that's been used internationally over the time I've spent, you know, in different positions. I've picked up one or two little skills in scaling, and because you have to be efficient when you're dealing with risk management, and yes, the model that I have has come from years and years of trial and error, and it does work. And the reason why I do know it will work and it'll continue to work is when I came here, they had a very, very similar model already set up. And it was just for me. So it was very easy for me to say, okay, this is the formula. Let's do this and this, very small tweaks, and we have the right formula that we need.
Excellent. Okay. So a combination is what I'm hearing, a combination
Yes,
of both.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
great. So are there any major initiatives, upgrades, or partnerships you're planning to implement within the next year or so?
Yes, yes. We are looking into some strategic acquisitions that will complement our service offering. Also, we're working on upgrading our client's portal, which is that part of that client experience. One or two little tweaks to make it more user friendly, give it some more automation to it. Um, the security side of it is in there. It's a vault. It's very confidential. So that side of it is already there. We just need to make it a little more user friendly, give it a little more intelligence. Again, to provide a bigger service or a better client experience to our customers that are there already.
Awesome. So I'm hearing like upgrading technology and just making the user experience more streamlined
Correct.
and efficient.
Correct.
So what does success look like for you, like in a year from now, let's say?
In a year from now, I'm looking at right now, I strongly believe that, we are, I would say, in the top 10 globally of companies that specifically do this type of service. I'm not talking about the click button companies where you go and you log in and you click. Talking about companies that have people behind it, investigative services behind it. Our intent is to just keep aiming for number one. Every day that we work here, that's our aim, to be number one. And, to be able to be number one, you have to understand all the different aspects of what makes a company a leader. And it's not just your service performance, that's a big part of it. But it's your people, it's your ability to scale. You know, most of the things that we talked about today, those things have to get implemented. So we're in an accelerated plan to get those things done so we can be right up there as a number one company in this type of business.
Excellent. Yeah. And I know your differentiators are important as well. And I know with your specific company and services, your screenings are really in depth. They aren't just the run of the mill, like you said, the click a button and automatic results. Can you tell me a little bit more about how you're different, about the special process that you go through in your screenings?
So what differentiates us from the other companies out there is that, you know, every company has its, little niches and little ways of doing things that brings value to their customers. But I think what differentiates us most is that we have people behind the check. All the screening is done with people that are experiencing looking at things and seeing, we have outliers out here. We need to pull this in. We need to dig a little deeper. And that's what you just can't get from a lot of these companies and the on-site, the websites, the click button websites. Is that, you need to have a person behind it looking at everything, not just looking at one or two, data points and saying, okay, that person is good. You know, there is a big difference in using us in that the thoroughness of our background check gives that person, that employer, an opportunity to really understand who they're hiring before they make that step to the next level to hire that individual. And again, that differentiator is our people and the thoroughness of the background check we do. We don't just pick 2 points. Our data points are 5 or 6 data points to come to one conclusion. Most of the companies out there, I would say 99% of the companies out there use two data points. We have 5 or 6 data points that we use to triangulate to give you the best assessment that you can to make that decision.
Right. Yeah, hiring is one of the most crucial tasks a company, undergoes, and your people are your company.
Correct.
And making those hiring decisions is vital. And so taking the risk out of the process, I think, is what you're helping, companies do. And it's like you said, not just a couple of touch points, but you're really digging in, is what I'm hearing, and really understanding who they are, what their background is, where they're coming from, and providing that information to the company so they can make that solid choice.
Yes.
And what are some of the complexities you've faced stepping into a business with such a strong reputation and compliance focus?
Well, I think normalizing my historic expectations. I come from Fortune 500 companies. I've traveled the world. I've worked with, entire country agencies. I've dealt with diplomats. So you come into a company like this that is extremely good, extremely solid, fantastic reputation, very focused on compliance, but it still is very different when you look at it globally. So I have to normalize my expectations, my historic expectations, and my experiences uh, with the company, with Davis, so that I can understand and only bring value-added solutions and bolster the company basically throughout the transition to ensure that we maintain that strong reputation and teamwork.
Right. And so how can this challenge impact client services growth or internal culture if it's not addressed?
Well, I believe companies need to, at a minimum, keep up with changing technology. All companies, you know, if as a company we don't try to continually expand our boundaries to ensure that that client expectation, that client service is exceeded, other companies are going to come in, it's going to become complacent. There is no value added. You have to continually look at the changing times. So we must keep up with changing times, and we must always strive to bring a much better, service and service quality to our clients. So we always are updating, always moving towards the future.
Yeah. So I really hear, Mike, your commitment to serving your customer, bringing value. And I hear that the processes and technology that you're putting into place are there just for that reason, to bring additional value to your customer and not only provide better services, but a better experience all the way around. And I applaud that. I applaud your commitment to value and serving your clients. So I know the clients that you serve will greatly benefit from that. So, well, I just want to thank you so much. We've come to the end of our time, but want to thank you for being here and providing this insight on Davis Investigation Services, and wish you all the luck in the upcoming year. And we're happy to support you in that effort.
Well, thank you so much, Leanne. I really appreciate it. And again, I think it's great being able to, have an opportunity to talk about who we are. And I look forward to, meeting new companies and meeting new people in the future. That's what we do, and providing the best service we can. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.